50.81 crore equity shares of rupees 5 each, which is 60.59% of the company's paid-up equity share capital. Registers, documents and records as required by law are open for inspection by the members. I wish to introduce to you my colleagues on the dais. To my left, Professor Ramachandran and Shri Deepak Shauri. And to my right, Shri A.K. Purwar, Shri Bhardwaj, and my colleague Shri Gurdeep Singh. The annual report for the financial year ended 2015-16 has already been circulated to you. I request the members to permit me to take the notice convening this meeting as well as the auditor's report as read, since there are no qualifications. Thank you, Anubhai. Are no qualifications in the said auditor's report. I now request Shri Gurdeep Singh to give us an update on the business of the company.
Good afternoon and a warm welcome to all of you. His vision to empower the common man by saying that if a common man can afford just a postcard, he or she should be able to make a call. And when we look back today, it is more than a reality. Dreams don't turn into reality by the touch of magic. It requires hard work, sweat, determination, and more than that, courage to pursue. Today, the new era in telecom starts only because the first era has been completed beyond realization at the start of that dream. Our legendary founder, Padma Vibhushan, Shri Dhirubhai Ambani ji, did it and showed it to the world. A big round of applause for our founder, please. Your company today is the largest integrated telecom operator in India, serving across discerning individual to discerning corporates. We now offer pan-India services on 2G, 3G and 4G LTE. We have over 107 million customers, including 25 million using high-speed data across our 3G and 4G services. Our nationwide tower portfolio with underlying optic fiber cable serving the most discerning data cities in the country helps us to grow in the data business dramatically. Our global cloud exchange business, having 69,000 approximate kilometers of under subsea cable circling the earth, provides us to serve our discerning corporates in India and globally. RCOM is today poised for a stronger growth path as we move forward into the second era in telecom. Backed by a nationwide launch of a 4G LTE platform, complete services across 2G, 3G and 4G, riding on our superior spectrum and network capabilities, and cutting-edge cloud services. Turning to the financial performance for the year gone by, our revenue stood at 22,113 crore. EBITDA was at rupees 7,419 crore with a margin of 34%, highest amongst the peers. Our assets stood at 1,02,066 crore, and our shareholders' equity stood at 36,866 crore. Our biggest growth driver in the year gone by has been the growth led by our data business. Our data customers grew by 46% and stood at 39 million. Our 3G customer base more than doubled to be a whopping 25 million in the last fiscal. Our usage per customers remains to be around 899 MB, highest amongst any telecom operator, largely because of good quality, high value customers across corporates and individuals. Our non-voice revenue stands at 32%, highest amongst the telecom operators. Today, your company is at a stage of leapfrog, and we are leapfrogging to be a formidable player in the new or the second wave of telecom era. But this wave of era is going to be supporting a new lifestyle born out of the large number of customers who are internet oriented or are born on the internet. Let me just take you through what is changing in our life. We are now moving into a digital lifestyles. You will be surprised to know that a common person who uses a smartphone spends 90 minutes on the apps in a day versus 10 minutes calling. What it means is that you have your phone next to your ears only for 10 minutes, but it is 1 feet away and you're using it for 90 minutes in a day. That shows a complete shift in the lifestyle versus where we were 5 years ago. There's a large community of now app users across the world. 9 out of 10 people who own a smartphone use one or multiple apps. More than that, the people who use app, at least half of them log into a app every 60 minutes. It shows the growing dependence on the device in their hand and what this device is capable of doing, supported by the rich suite of services and high-speed data. Our mobile data grew twice. It doubled in the year that's gone by, and it's likely to be 10 to 12 times of the current consumption today in the year 2020, almost doubling every year from today. The average consumption per customer in the year gone by on a smartphone is about below 200 MB, and it's going to grow over 800 MB in the years to come by. I will not be surprised that if in the couple of years from today, the average consumption per customer comes to a 2 gigabit per smartphone users, which is a whopping 15 times growth over the current consumption. And all of this is happening because the internet consumption is more indoors. For your information, 75% of the calls are made outdoors, and whereas the 70% of the data is consumed indoors. So the spectrum that you need to make an excellent call connectivity for the outdoor in voice era is completely different than what you need in a data era. So please keep this in mind, because the internet consumption happens indoors worldwide at a whopping rate of 75% of the total data consumed. We estimate that, supported by affordable pricing in the 4G phones, which are now starting at 3,000 and above, there will be over 300 million 4G users in 2 years from now at the end of fiscal year 18. That means there will be a large part of processing power in the hands of the consumer, larger screen size, and with the multiple for availability of the content, we could be in for a surprise on a data consumption per customer. In summary, the evolving digital lifestyle is coupled with 3 facts: the technology which is driving, which is high-speed data, the content play and the services that can happen on a 5 or a 7-inch screen is going to drive the consumption, is going to change the way we ever consumed voice and data as we went forward. But all of this requires certain prerequisites. To be successful in this era versus a voice era, you need to have the right spectrum that supports the indoor good quality of internet connectivity. You need ubiquitous networks across, because customer can be the most irritated if his data connectivity has to be lost or has to get into the buffering, versus a call that can always be initiated once again on a comparative basis. And the current born on the net or the internet generation, we call in our marketing terms the restless generation, also wants to be served in the digital style. Your company today is at the forefront of it and is a kind of first mover in the 4G era. It has the most coveted 850 megahertz LTE spectrum, which is required to serve the indoor. For your information, for a change, the lower the number, the better it is. Higher the number, which is, let's say, 2300, means higher capital expenditure, lower throw, and lower ability to penetrate the multiple walls in a building, remembering the fact that 75% of data is consumed indoor. Your company has a unique, distinctive advantage to be holding the much coveted 850 megahertz spectrum on a pan-India basis. It is critical because this is the only spectrum which can penetrate multiple walls in a building, and in a way, if I were to say that this can, or the only spectrum that can go across the building through and through, helping you use internet data in the nooks and corners of the building or the 4 walls that you are in. We all remember that what 900 did to the voice era. In exactly the same term, 850 megahertz will do to the LTE or a 4G era. So hence, in our business, to be a first mover, to be there at the right time, is far more critical and important for a long-term success in this business, which your company possesses today. At the time of launch, we have the nationwide, the largest, widest, and the deepest network of the 4G versus any of the other incumbent players. I would not hesitate to say, wherever electricity goes, your network goes. All of this needs a robust underlying mechanism to carry your internet traffic on the fiber, unlike in the voice era. for you to have at the click of the button to the requisite website and the transaction that you want to do on the internet, it needs to be on a seamless internet protocol path, which means that spectrum coupled with the underlying power of the fiber, well-spread fiber network is a combination which would remain an unbeatable combination for RCOM for many years to come. And that gives us a strength to say that your network is truly built for delivering superior quality video. It is, because when you look at using a 4G and a high-speed data network, there are distinctive advantages you get out of this spectrum. It's a high-definition voice that you can experience, as if you're talking to someone who's sitting next to you. High-definition video, without buffering, without any blurring, a clear vision, the way you go and see a high-definition cinema. The blazing download speeds anywhere up to 12 to 32 Mbps on the click of the button. And what's more, you can play a multiplayer game sitting across with your friends in multiple continents real time. Such are the advantages of 4G LTE long-term evolution high-speed data network. Also, to serve the ever-restless internet or born on the internet generation, some things and the styles, the way we serve them needs to change. If the older way was to sell voice and data and a vast packs, the newer way to sell is to move everything on the internet or on the data. So we're going to move away from a multiple recharge options to a one single data recharge option, bringing convenience, bringing optimization and optimal usage for the consumers. If older way was to sell connectivity plans, the newer way of doing things is to sell content. Coupled with partially with the connectivity. People are going to consume content, so you need to market content and price content, then pricing overall connectivity plan. If older way was to serve through the physical channels, you have the internet generation who hasn't gone and stood in a bank queue to withdraw cash. This is the internet generation that loves to do the things online, and they truly trust the online ecosystem. So electric and online will be the increasing trust area of your company. If older ways was to put together cumbersome set of papers to do a KYC, the newer way is to just go and put your thumb impression on a biometric to bring about the eKYC, which makes the whole onboarding process smoother and easier, and hence enabling more customers to be onboarded. So these are some of the initiatives that your company is taking to be in line with the evolving digital lifestyle and the consumer new ways of engaging with the company. If older ways were to call up a call center, the newer ways of doing things is to chat socially on any of the apps that a customer uses, or a video call, or be on the social media. In fact, I would not hesitate to say that a couple of years down the line, there could possibly be a death of call centers. So RCOM is also leapfrogging in our cloud business, the business that serves our enterprise in the global cloud exchange. We are probably the only company that operates next-generation networks circling the whole earth. We connect emerging markets to established markets. We're linking up markets such as India and the Middle East to the rest of the world. We offer ultra-high bandwidth services up to 100 gigabits per second and carrying over 20% of the world's internet traffic. One in every four times you go to the website, you travel over one of the RCOM cables. One in every 3 calls that comes from overseas to India is ferried on your network. Also, the global cloud exchange is revolutionizing the way enterprises stored and transacted data. We are a technology company with capabilities across cloud services, the force behind digital. We are well positioned to serve India, the fastest growing economy in the world and second largest internet market. We power the e-commerce and startup in India, all built by our formidable engineering and technology teams. CloudX platform with infrastructure available in Hong Kong, Palo Alto, London, New York, and Mumbai. Strategic partnership with world leaders such as Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, Azure, IBM, and Global Cloud. We have over 1.1 million square feet of internet data center space in India. We have co-located in multiple locations. We are managing the whole hosting and the security aspect for the enterprises. As the cloud market gets more innovative, we'll need stronger internet data centers. Reliance is one of the largest data center providers in the country with over 1 million square feet of space. Our IDCs Our internet data centers are built to meet the highest standard for data center infrastructure. In summary, our investments across the building blocks for the cloud infrastructure, combined with our global subsea assets, position us to leapfrog into the next generation of internet and cloud-based economies. In summary, your company is going to be a formidable player in the internet and the data space with the first mover advantage, backed by a gold standard 4G, which is designed for indoors and delivering high definition audio and video. Pan-India network goes wherever the electricity goes. We are ready to serve the internet generation in the way and the manner they want to engage with us, and with the full suite of our cloud services built on global infrastructure, we are now ready to serve from a discerning individual to a discerning corporate. With all of this behind us and supporting us to enable and serve a customer, we see ourselves to be amongst the top 2 data players in the country. We have led the first era by making the phone call more affordable than a postcard. We are now into the second era, led by our chairman, Shri Anil Dhirubhai Ambani, to make India a wire-free country and bring the vision of Internet for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gurdeep. I now move the ordinary resolution relating to item number 1 of the notice for adoption of standalone and consolidated audited financial statements of the company for the financial year ended March 31st, 2016. Thank you so much. Reports of the auditors thereon, reports to the Board of Directors of the standalone financial statements. Before putting the resolutions to vote, I invite the members to seek clarifications and offer their comments. I request my colleague, Shri Prakash Shenoy, Company Secretary, to announce the names of the members to come to the podium. Prakash.
Thank you, sir. The first speaker is Mr. Ashmukh Ora, followed by Ashalata Maheshwari.
Speakers are there. So many comments and so much of advice. Sometimes it surprises me at the insights that you bring to the table. And truly, as a learning organization, we need to learn by every single event, every single person, every single comment, and every possible opportunity in front of us. Let me first take the comment made by several shareholders regarding Reliance mobile stores and having people there who can support silver citizens or senior citizens to learn about technology in a very simple and friendly way. For me personally, there is no better icon on learning about technology and the future than my respected mother. At 80 plus, and I have the good fortune to live with her, and occasionally on Sundays I do take her out for lunch. And this is a real episode a few weeks ago. When we were going in the car, she said, "Anil, I am on BBM, which is now old. I am on WhatsApp. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I am on Pinterest. And I am on all the virtual platforms that exist." So I said, "That's very, very good. I can send a video on WhatsApp. I can send in files on WhatsApp. And so I am really the best technology soldier that you have. I said, I completely agree with you because I don't have any of these skills. So, what is your question? Her question was very simply, tell me, Anil, what's new? I already know all these things. What is new to come? And I struggled myself because I must confess that I am not a great technology savvy user myself. Maybe I understand technology, I appreciate the intervention of technology. So I said, let me see what is really possible. And on the way she said, Anil, there is something called virtual reality. So I said, yes, I've heard about it. And see, there are some glasses that you have to wear, and I want to experience virtual reality. Why I related to this episode was learning never ever stops. Age is a state of mind. Senior citizens don't require any specific new help, though we will provide that guidance and help. Because if Kokilaben Ambani can learn at 80 plus, I think everybody can learn. So I just have to compliment her for that and her commitment. And I'm sure if I had told her I don't know anything about virtual reality, she would have sent me a mail the next day with all the web links of what is virtual reality and saying, find out for yourself what is virtual reality. So much for technology and adoption and age to some of my fellow shareholders. Shareholders have made a number of comments and I'll take them in no particular order, and I'll refer to one of the requests made that shareholders would like to visit DAKC as a responsible company and as a valued shareholder. We'll get Prakash Shenoy to organize a visit for shareholders, that those who want to go, we will fetch you, we will feed you, we will make you see DAKC and we'll drop you back. So no inconvenience should be caused to you. I want to cover positively a comment for Sailesh Bhai and his comments. And while we value every shareholder, whether he is a small shareholder or is a large institutional shareholder, I fundamentally believe that all shareholders have a democratic right to agree or disagree. And when shareholders disagree, then they must vote with their feet. We will always endeavor our best to convince them, to communicate with them, and carry them with us in every possible way that we can. When a large corporate enterprise moves forward, not only the Reliance Group, but I'm just talking about corporate India, there are bound to be impediments in the way, and we are here to work with those impediments to the best of our ability. While we value every shareholder, and though Sailesh Bhai had his own perspective to issues, and I just want to put on record that Sailesh Bhai owns 10 shares with a value of 500 rupees. Now, if one shareholder with 10 shares and 500 rupees investment can take 30 minutes of this AGM's time, and not only that, can actually delay a corporate process that is in a matter of the court, we have no issue on that at all. I heard him, and he is in the court, and we have no issues with that. Please present your views to the court, and we welcome the democratic right of every shareholder, and we hope that Sailesh Bhai will be convinced about our proposal, about the value creation in front of us, and he will support us, but I'll leave it to Sailesh by his own judgment. I heard a number of comments on competition. The Reliance group is a young group. We are just 10 years old. We are a group that is born out of competition. That is born out of competition from every possible player, incumbents, national players, multinational players, and government players. And we have still succeeded in every of our businesses. There is no business in which we are a monopoly. There is no business in which we are just one or two players. There is every business that we are 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 players, depending on the industry structure. So, in the words and the teachings of my late father, in every adversity, please look for opportunity. Do not be afraid of anything that looks red, because it could turn green at some stage. Why do you think it will permanently remain red? Looking at the future for Reliance Communications, we have a multi-pronged strategy to be present, to be viable, to be counted, and earn our rightful place in the pecking order of the telecom sector. Amongst the many initiatives that we have taken, number one is the agreements that we have signed between Reliance Communications and Reliance Jio. For all practical purposes, as one of the shareholders mentioned, in my mind, in the minds of the 40,000-50,000 people who work at Reliance Communications, in the minds of our over 100 million customers, in the minds of our over 1 million retailers, what we have accomplished is a virtual merger between Reliance Jio and Reliance Communications. Our spectrum is shared, our network is shared, our fiber is shared, our towers is shared, our voice is shared, and every effort to reap synergies, every effort to lower cost, to be capital light has been achieved. We have a full 4G LTE, which is long-term evolution network, on a pan-India basis, without any capital expenditure on the Reliance Communication balance sheet. So the entire capital expenditure has not been borne by us. We have shared and traded our spectrum, and we have the ability to really offer world-class, what I call as gold standard 4G LTE services. I am happy to announce that within just 90 days of moving and starting to our 4G services, we've crossed 1 million 4G paid customers using more than 1 GB of data monthly. The second initiative, after the virtual consolidation between Reliance Jio and Reliance Communication, has been really the role that we have played in the telecom market to be consolidator. Most people imagined that we will be consolidated, That means we would be acquired by somebody. What we have done is, we have done the reverse. We have turned consolidator. The first consolidation exercise we made was to agree to acquire Shyam Systema's assets, and to a shareholder who commented on spectrum, the spectrum is a long duration spectrum, valid for more than 20 years. It is 4G spectrum, and it is precious spectrum in the lower band, which is capital efficient and gives high quality service to customers. Following that, and we hope that that process will come to a close shortly in terms of a full formal merger, we then looked at the sector and we then proposed the largest ever consolidation in the Indian telecom industry, creating a formidable operator with the second largest holding of spectrum, which is the Aircel transaction. The merged company will be pan-India 4G, 3G and 2G, and we will be amongst the top operators in over 12 important cities across India. We will have an asset base of 65,000 crores and a net worth of 35,000 crores. Since there are two companies, there are basically two organizations, a combination would mean a dramatic contribution to cost synergies and also to revenue synergies. Current independent estimates done at the time of the announcement was that the capex and opex synergy value alone will be 20,000 crores in net present value as of today. Reliance Communication will own 50% of the new company. We will be as active as we are today. So to any thought that Reliance Communication is selling out to Aircel or Aircel is selling out to us, both are furthest from the truth. From a reality perspective, we are the third largest mobile operator on combination between Reliance Communication Wireless, Aircel and MTS. And we are very, very sure and clear that we will create long-term shareholder value. A number of you have commented on the overall debt and the debt reduction and the initiatives that we have taken. I am very, very confident that with the initiative of the virtual merger of Reliance Jio and Reliance Communication, we've eliminated all capital expenditure for a wireless 4G network, which would have further increased our debt. We will have to now no longer spend that debt. Number one. So that is effectively a debt reduction exercise, because you want to do 4G, you'll have to spend 10, 15, 20,000 crores. We don't have to spend that. We have actually taken our spectrum and leveraged that spectrum to create more value for all of you. Second, the combination between MTS, Aircel and Reliance will mean that our debt will be reduced by at least 20,000 crores, which is the largest debt reduction that any Indian company has ever attempted to do. 3, we are at an advanced stage on the monetization of our tower business, and you will hear good news shortly. And I expect that when we meet in a year from now at the next AGM, you will see a transformed Reliance Communication. You will see us as a leader in the mobile space, a leader in 4G, a leader in terms of our debt, our interest costs and the value that we have created for shareholders. Let me assure you, and I am confident, that the next time we meet in a year from now, my target is that you could see a debt reduction, and I call it reduction, though it could be a decimation of debt by more than 75% of our existing debt. A question was raised on the upcoming auction and our participation in that. Clearly, what you've seen is the auction will begin shortly, and we have all the spectrum that we need. As I said, we have the second largest spectrum portfolio in the country, and we have the 2G spectrum, the 3G spectrum, the 4G spectrum, we have the spectrum sharing and trading with Reliance Jio. So all our spectrum is already in our portfolio. We don't need to really spend lots and lots of money like other operators who will have to spend to survive in the dimension of the evolving technologies and the evolving 4Gs. So we are well positioned in the upcoming auction as far as our spectrum strategy is concerned. I think that based on all the initiatives that I have mentioned, I leave this annual general meeting with great confidence about the future of Reliance Communication, the future for all our shareholders, the future for all our stakeholders, and the future for all our employees. And I'm sure that you will support us in our upcoming value creation journey, and we will receive the blessings of my mother and the support of all of you to achieve the dream of one man, Dhirubhai Ambani. Let me tell you that as a father, I couldn't ask for more. There are two committed individuals, brothers, Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani, both working relentlessly to fulfill the dreams of Dhirubhai Ambani. As required, the company has provided e-voting facility to all the members of the company from September 24 to September 26, 2016. The voting rights of the members are in proportion to the number of shares held by them as on the cutoff date being September 20, 2016. The voting through physical ballot has also been made available to the members who had chartered accountants as the